many of you are mad at me? Raise your hand. Just a couple in the back. Kick them out. Call security. Just kidding. So, hey, we power washed some of the Windsor the other day, and they killed some plants. I apologize. Those plants will be replaced by Westminster and the team that did it, of course. They were supposed to be using green chemicals that aren't going to kill plants, and they were supposed to protect the plants, but they did not do that. So they won't work here anymore. I don't know where else they're going to work, but we will not let them work here. So I apologize for that. If you had some plants damaged, how many of you did? Gardening Club, I know, did. Yes, a couple. So Sarah should be reaching out to you to resolve that, and I do apologize. Good help is hard to find. Who thinks we should have left the building gray and black? No? Okay. So we did the right thing by washing off the mold. We just need to do it in a nicer way, right? With green chemicals. So I apologize for my attire. I'm wearing a tech root. Is my picture on there?
I'll check in a few minutes. I'm sure.
I hope not. I'm tired of looking at it. Okay. Let's see. Next question. What if any... I'm sorry.
Tessa and the welcoming committee is working on that very issue.
Oh, well, very good. Didn't even realize.
Residents.
For residents?
They
Yeah.
have the photo directory, but there are some residents who do not want their pictures added. So
Right.
that's what
And
this
you
is.
all, I don't quite understand that, but it's okay. You're beautiful people, though. You know? If you have to look at my ugly mug, you might as well put yours up there, too. What? Okay. Question. What, if any, increase in monthly fees for independent living do you project for 2025? We are currently preparing the budget for 2025, and I'm not prepared to answer this question at this time. The industry will likely be 5 to 7%. I hope to do better. Question, is sustainability a goal of the Board of Directors and Westminster Management? The answer is yes. And here are just a few of the accomplishments in recent years. So the first senior living community in the country with solar power, which is now producing solar power for the Windsor building and will be producing for the Carlisle by the end of September. We have new energy efficient chillers, boilers, and lighting on the campus, on the whole campus. Preston is about to be installed middle of September. New roofing and insulation on B and C wing of the Preston. Energy saving solar film on all 3 buildings soon. We are a zero waste designation by the City of Austin, meaning that we recycle as much or more than we throw away. Recycle single stream more than throw away. Installation of multiple charging stations on campus for electrical cars. Piloting reusable takeout containers, which you all seem to love. Purchasing a hybrid vehicle for our fleet. So we are very interested in sustainability. Question, what are the hourly wage rates and employee benefits for the managers, waiters, and cooks who operate the restaurants? Many thanks for their services and excellent cookery. So I never talk specifically about wages. I don't give you dollar amounts. I can tell you that our compensation is very competitive. Very competitive in senior living, very competitive compared to restaurants. Our benefits package is one of the most robust benefits package in the state of Texas. And all of the LCS communities, 153, I think now, across the country, our benefits package is better than all. We pay 95% of the associate's premium for health insurance and 77% of the associate's premium for health insurance for their family. We have free short-term disability for our associates. We have free life insurance for our associates. We have one of the most, we have the best PTO policy, so personal time off policy, of any senior living community in the state, and also the LCS portfolio. And those are things that we have ratcheted up over the last 10 years. You know, LCS just brought a film crew to film our associate treehouse and have it as an example at town hall meeting, but that's just kind of the icing on the cake. We really do a great job being competitive in the market with our wages and benefits, and that's one of the reasons we continue to be a top workplace. I hope that answers your question there. Question, how is the project using reusable green takeout boxes progressing? Fairly well. You've stopped throwing them away for the most part. Some of you put them in the recycle containers, so we're grabbing them out of there. We did purchase a few hundred more boxes to add to our stock. So, bless you. Try to do what you can to return those as quickly as you can. Residents of 4030 and 3014 in the Windex have noticed new dirty spots on our north-facing bedroom windows. Could this be residue of overspray from last week's hosing down of the back side of the Windsor? And can we expect those windows to be cleaned, please? Yes, and yes, this will be addressed. When is the next Westminster vaccination clinic? Will we be able to get COVID, flu, and RSV shots, I assume? How many can we take at once? This information is on the next slide. So the CDC recommends updated 2024-25 COVID-19 and flu vaccines for fall-winter virus season. Everyone ages 6 months and older, that's all of you, get the 2024 COVID-19 vaccine. This includes people who have received a COVID-19 vaccine before and people who have had COVID-19. The Pfizer, BioNTech, Moderna vaccines target KP2 variant. RSV is common respiratory virus that usually causes mild cold-like symptoms. Most people recover in a week or two, but RSV can be serious. Infants and older adults, that's you, older adults, are more likely to develop severe RSV and need hospitalization. The CDC recommends RSV vaccines for adults ages 60 to 74 who are at increased risk of severe RSV, and for everyone aged 75 years and older. Adults 60 to 74 are at increased risk if they have certain medical conditions such as chronic heart or lung disease, a weakened immune system, or live in a nursing home. RSV vaccine is not currently an annual vaccine, meaning older adults do not need to get a dose every RSV season. That means if you've already gotten an RSV vaccine, you do not need to get another one at this time. How many of you have had an RSV vaccine? Oh, it's quite a few of you. Good. Terrytown will be hosting a COVID RSV clinic in Harrisville Hall on Friday, September the 20th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. You must register in advance. No walk-in appointments available. Both can be given on the same day. Sign up on the Westminster Resident Portal or flyer QR code. And if you don't know how to use both of those, contact Robin at 512-600-7328. We have received the high-dose flu vaccine. Fluzone high dose is licensed for persons aged 65 years and older. Higher dose of antigen in the vaccine is intended to give older people a better immune response and therefore better protection against the flu. The dates of the flu clinics are Thursday, September the 26th, Wednesday, October 2nd, Thursday, October the 3rd. And these are all on flyers, and you should have received them via the portal as well, right? And that's all I have to say about that. Did you get those?
Not the flu.
Okay, the flu clinic will be coming if it hasn't come already. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to skip this part. I'm going to have a special meeting for Sea Wing residents early next month. Let's skip this part too. We talked about parking last time. I will talk about this. So, beginning January 1st of 2024, Westminster will begin charging residents for a second vehicle parking spot.
2025.
2025, you're right, sorry. It's all running together. It'll be a monthly charge of $100. This is similar to our competitors. So our competitors around town are charging for second vehicles. We will also provide a $1,000 one-time incentive discount off your monthly service fee when you retire your second vehicle and no longer occupy a parking space on Westminster's campus. We're also going to be using the revenue that this fund creates to help offset associate parking or commuting by asking our associates to carpool and to start riding together. Many of them work the same shift, the same hours, so we're going to give them an incentive to help pay for their transportation with the revenue that's generated from this new fee, starting January 1st, 2025. Owning a car costs an average of $10,728 per year, or $894 per month, according to AAA. That's a lot. That's, yeah. Let's see. Oh, we don't need to talk about that anymore. Star cards, everybody knows what those are for. We don't care about awards. Resident experience survey. We talked, I think I showed this slide the last time we were together. I do appreciate the participation, 75%. The resident food committee survey was 82%, so I was a little offended there. But 93% overall satisfaction is pretty good. I appreciate that. Let's go into the details. It's difficult to see, but just to give you, it's hard to make it any larger than this. Reception, resident health services, transportation all received a 97%. Security, health center received 96%. Accounting received a 95%. The red you'll see is we've declined from last survey. Marketing and sales, community life services, accounting all received 95%. Overall rating was 93%. The board of directors lost 6 points. They're at 92%. Extraordinary impressions was 92%. That's our hospitality program. Supportive facilities was at 91%. Environmental services lost 3 points to go to 91%. I think it's 3. Communications. So these meetings, I'm not going to have them anymore because I lost 6 points for communication. I'm just kidding. I didn't take it personally, a little bit. Plant operations lost 2 points, so they're down to 90%. Engagement was 87%, but up 1 point. Assisted living lost 6 points to 87%. The executive director stayed the same at 86%. That's a B. I did much better as a community administrator. Food and beverage, 86% overall, gaining 3 points from last time. The overall score, would recommend up the top, 94%. It's 2 points less than we achieved last time, but it's 7 points better than LCS's communities and 11 points better than the industry. I'm very satisfied with Westminster as a place to live. 93% is 6 points better than LCS and 7 points better than the industry. This breaks it down into more detail, but I'm not going to go over that today. There were some complaints that I'm not warm and friendly enough. This happened once before, and I think a lot of it has to do with I don't give enough hugs. So after today's meeting, I'll be standing here, and you all can come up for a hug and give me those points back next time. All right? How many of you want a hug? Oh, just a few of you. All right, I saw you. There's about 5 of you. We'll see you up here in a little bit. All right, we're not going to talk about takeout containers. Alzheimer's Texas fundraising, so we're about $32,000 so far. Our goal is $60,000. There's a dog show on September the 13th, so coming up pretty quickly. And you have dogs, so enter them in the dog show. Car wash on 9/27, so September 27th. Polo shirts are available in the little store or any reception desk, and they're really cool looking polo shirts. And our silent auction will be October the 18th. Food committee announcement. Jane Durbin, would you like to speak to the group? Ruth, can she use your microphone? That way she doesn't have to come up here. You're on.
Hello.
Uh,
Hello?
Yeah, perfect.
I feel like I'm eating it. I'm Jane Durbin. I'm co-chair of the food committee. Our chair, Joanne McKenzie, is enjoying Colorado, so I get to deliver the good news today. You remember the food survey back in June, right? That hasn't gone out of your memory. I think you'll be happy to hear that the survey report will be completed and a 2-page summary will be put in your cubbies and on the portal on September 21st. Also that day, the full survey will be available on the portal and a paper copy will be in the library for you to read. The full survey report includes all the data, the color charts, the graphs, and all the comments from the surveys, all 2,548 comments. We have flyers in the elevator that week with the information, so you don't need to remember this. Now, a huge thanks to Camille Miller. Is she here? She's president of the WRA, and to you, Chuck, for your help and your cooperation with this project. And not in the least. And thank you to the 350 residents who filled out the survey. This was a remarkable 82%, sorry Chuck,
Yeah.
response to you. And from these results, we're confident that both the residents and the food staff will benefit from the findings of the survey. All of the food committee members, of course, worked on this, but a very special nod goes to 3 of our members. Joanne McKenzie, who, as we say, is cool. Marilyn Vinson, who is over here, Marilyn. And Francis Servins, in the second row. They combined their mathematical and their business experience, and they devoted countless hours to deliver a careful and objective, and what I hope is a really interesting report for you to read. So thank you and bon appetit.
Thank you very much. Okay, phase 4. Likely won't start until spring of 2025. So we get a little bit of breather. I think previously we talked about trying to start it in December. And I felt like we were rushing things. The city's been a little slower in their approval process, and giving us a little extra time logistically is a good idea. The project is planned for 14 to 16 months. We've talked about the sound and inconvenience mitigation. I realize any construction project is inconvenient. So this is a look of the Preston building after the phase 4 project is completed, and you can see we're improving the courtyard on the west side. Anybody see there it is. Right here on the west side. That's the new courtyard. I'll stand up and show you that. So the west courtyard is right here. And we're picking up another dog park, a larger one with some shade. On this, yes, right here. So some people are happy about that. That's good. We don't touch the front at all. And then this central courtyard, the Preston Central Courtyard, gets a makeover. And I know some of you are upset about that, but I have to tear it up anyway. I have to get the stormwater drainage in the Preston Courtyard up to code. We need to install a replacement roof on B-Wing, and when I do, it's going to add roof drains to that courtyard that are gonna be pouring water when there's a storm. It never rains here, but when it does rain, it's gonna flood the courtyard. So I need to improve the drainage in the courtyard. You can't do that without digging up the courtyard and putting new stormwater pipes in to contain the drainage and get it out to the city, okay? We also need to regrade this area over here where we have Lake Westminster. So just to give you an idea of what we're trying to do. This will be a new courtyard that's right here, in between the two buildings. This won't be a driveway anymore. It'll be a sidewalk there, and you'll be able to get out that way. There'll be a gate, and there'll be a security fence that runs the length of the property, 6 feet tall, which I think, given the crime rates in the area, is a good idea. You'll have to key fob out or in to that space. So you'll still be able to get out to the sidewalk. There'll still be benches along the front of the Preston that you can sit in and visit with the neighbors if you want to, but it will be secure. People won't be able to get into the Preston courtyard and take a bath in our fountain or sleep on our benches anymore, unless it's you all sleeping on the benches, and that's fine. Unless you're doing it in the sun, we might ask you to move it, but just to give you an idea. There is some outside dining that's being picked up. That'll be outside the Laurel. This will have the same pergola construction as what we did on the bistro, so it's an automatic pergola. And there'll be some seating areas. We're picking up a coffee shop, conservatory, which I know some residents like, take it or leave it. It's going to be a really cool space, though. It's going to be able to be, it's air conditioned. We'll be able to have music there. We're going to have a stage area. It's going to be a really attractive space. It's going to have a deck that opens out into the courtyard. So we're picking up a lot of really cool spaces there. This is what the rendering is. That screen there is the, behind that's the pickleball courts, okay? Sports courts. I don't expect that we're going to have food trucks parked there all the time, but we do think maybe once or twice a month when we do our kickoff, it might be nice to have somebody come in and do barbecue once in a while to just program the space. This is a view of rendering of the conservatory. You can see the seating up there for the deck with umbrellas. And this will be, you'll be able to enter this space from Harris Bell Hall, basically, going right out there. You can see the bridge that connects. This is one of the things that we're excited about, that A and B wing of the Preston will be connected by an air-conditioned bridge. And it also picks up the first floor, which has always been kind of an eyesore for us, in that Harris Bell Hall elevator, and secures that with a new vestibule and a place to scan in through AccuShield. Whoa. This is a picture of the west courtyard. So the dog park is back here. There's an outside area for dining that'll have a fireplace. On the other side of this brown wall, and so it's baffled really for sound mitigation, but it's a generator. And what we're doing is we're moving the generator from the Windsor building to the Preston, and then we're going to put what's called a bi-fuel kit on it, which means it will be able to provide power for up to 7 days, every bell and whistle in the Preston, so every single system. If we lost power because of a snowstorm or whatever emergency, we would have the ability to heat and cool the Preston building for up to 7 days. It's a diesel and natural gas combination that creates that ability. The board and I agree that we need to be prepared for weather emergencies. They're going to become more and more prevalent, and we really want to be able to maintain your services in an emergency, and this will help us do that. Just an example, we are going to remodel The Laurel dining room, we're gonna add a cocktail lounge to it, a new hostess area, and then this is dining with a private dining room along the MOPAC wall, and there's a secondary private dining room there. We're also picking up a space that I'm really excited about. I think Ruth's excited about it too, and that's this neat multi-purpose area and this activity space. And we really haven't had, so a place for you guys to do crafts and things like that, have presentations. You could have chapel service there. It's larger. It also gives Ruth a great office, some storage, which we've needed desperately for years. It addresses a lot of the issues that we've had. And we plan to put the art hall down on that floor, so it'll be on the first floor of the Preston. Then it creates a new corridor that runs along this elevator, and all this will become interior space. So it's no longer going to be covered with bird poo and everything else. And you'll have a nice clean space. You can get into the conservatory from both directions. Corridor that connects the building A and B wing. You can see the new vestibule here. So there is parking, about 17 spaces still that we'll have for visitor parking. And then we have a theater, a new theater with an inclined floor. So great for movies and everything. We enlarged the salon and move it to this location. And then there's a new game room, arcade, bowling alley kind of thing that's going to be built here. And there's a coffee shop that'll be built on the corner as well. And then you go directly into what is now a sidewalk, will become a hallway, a corridor, an air-conditioned space along marketing that leads to the lobby. This is what the Laurel dining room, cocktail lounge will look like. This is a picture of the conservatory. So it's really a green space. We'll have some live trees and plants in there. There's what's called nano walls that can open up if we have a large event. We can open up the walls and then we can flow through that conservatory in the courtyard and have nice events. So it'll be great when we're doing kickoff parties or whatever. And this is what's currently the back of the bistro, that art hall. So it opens up into the conservatory. So it's a great view there too. This is a rendering of the coffee shop, which you probably won't use all the time, but you may use it for a continental breakfast, a place to have coffee, a place to meet the kids, just chill, play a card game. There'll be some sandwiches and wraps available there. It's another venue for you to spend your dining dollars. So this is kind of a picture of the theater and how it has a floor that inclines towards a stage area so that you could do PowerPoint presentations, you could do readings in there, you could do a play in there, you could do movie screening in there, all of that. And then the salon, we're enlarging the salon that we currently have. We're adding a room for massage and also a room for esthetician, right? Which has been kind of a conflict. We have one room now that they're sharing and they don't get along. And so we'll be able to do both simultaneously. And then the salon space that we currently have will be added to the studio, the fitness studio, which will enlarge that space and allow for us to have larger classes. Let's see. So this is the second floor of Preston, first floor of Windsor. And so we're picking up a chapel here that's on the second floor. And then this is the corridor, the new corridor that connects the buildings. The conservatory you can see into, but you cannot access it from this floor. And then we're picking up a library, which is about double the size of the current library. And I'll have an IT tech room, so you can get some help with your technology if you're needing it. And then the library will have about twice the bookshelves as it currently has. We're picking up a guest room here, another guest room to add to our campus, and to be a modification to that apartment to allow for the corridor. Okay, third floor. So this is Harris Bell Hall, and there's right now at the back of the room, there's storage closets right here. Those will be taken out, and then they'll have 2 doors to access Harris Bell Hall, and also what we're calling a pre-function space. So a space outside of Harris Bell Hall to sign in and do things like that, and to host large events. It'll make Harris Bell Hall even deeper than it is currently. So it'll allow for more people in here. And then we pick up a ramp that runs along this side of Harris Bell Hall. We'll have storage closets built here that we can put tables and chairs in and roll out easily. Then there's a sports simulator that'll be located here. And of course there'll be sound walls mitigation between the 2 spaces. So you shouldn't be able to hear somebody hitting a golf ball in Harris Bell Hall when you're doing a presentation. And then this new recreation room, which is really a club room, a permanent place for happy hours, things like that. And also another gathering space, and it does have a great view of the Austin skyline. And we're picking up another guest apartment here. So I think by the time we're done with this project, we should have 12 to 13 guest apartments. We have 10 now, so I know that's a big desire to have more guest apartments, and so this does help us add those as well. Of course, we're going to, this outside balcony area is really not used much outside of Harris Bell Hall, so we're adding a pergola to it as well for shade, so that'll make it a more usable area. And this is kind of a diagram of the club room, and it can be broken up. You can play games there as well, and we'll have a supply of board games and things like that, so it'll be a place to take your friends and neighbors, or also your family, to enjoy. And of course, you can play a sport if you like. You don't have to, but you can. It'll be lined for various sports: shuffleboard, pickleball, foursquare, just lots of stuff. So, and there'll be equipment there to use. It will have a screen, it will have sound mitigation around it, it will have some lighting, but we're going to be very careful not to reflect into anybody's apartments. The deck off of the pre-function space, there's a deck to the outside. And because of the new corridor, the Preston will have pretty easy access to this new deck. And then we're going to put in raised planter beds right here. So if residents want to have some plants, they can do that there. And we'll try not to spray them with chlorine so that they live and can produce vegetables and stuff. We're going to have a presentation, an in-depth presentation at the Resident Association meeting in October. And in October, when we do that, we're going to have all of the plans blown up to big poster sizes. You remember the presentation we did for the Carlisle? And then we'll have department heads and members of the development team and some residents actually show you where the spaces are and be able to talk through what it's bringing to our community. One of the things that we're also doing, and I didn't mention it, is the Windsor generator is also getting an upgrade. So the Windsor generator will be replaced with a new generator. It's going to be a 1,500 kilowatt generator, which will be enough to power it as well. So eventually, the goal is to all 3 buildings on our campus, if we were to lose electricity, we still have it. We'll have it with our generators. And then also water. So if the city shuts off the utilities for some reason, we can still survive here confidently up to 7 days, and we'll get diesel trucks to bring us in. Diesel is needed, but it should prepare us really well for emergencies. So reasons to do this project: I have to solve the stormwater drainage, right? It has to be done. I have to rip up the Preston courtyard, so why not bring a great amenity and make it ADA? I have to make it ADA compliant as well when I touch it. So this will take care of that. Provide for a solution for Lake Westminster, so Mrs. Leach doesn't have to tell us, hey, the lake is full, somebody needs to drain it. Upgrade electrical and backup capability for both the Preston and the Windsor, so it'll be more like the Carlisle as far as being able to handle an emergency. And solve the heating and air conditioning problems in the Preston lobby. So, many years ago they eliminated vestibules and trying to enlarge the lobby. Well, that made it really difficult to cool and heat the lobby because, when that door opens, the hot air blasts in, cold air blasts in the winter. So putting in a second set of doors and creating vestibules will help with that. Improve security and access control. Upgrade the generators, improve the west courtyard to include a larger dog park. I know the dog park you have now is not great. This will enlarge that. Improve a deck off the Laurel Dining Room, which will be more usable. HVAC improvements for the Laurel Dining Room kitchen. Improve connectivity between the Preston and Windsor, so A and B wing being connected. So you won't have to walk all the way back to the core to go to, other areas of the building. Improved connectivity and accessibility. So, in the Preston, we've been grandfathered for years with ADA. We really need to make sure that there's no ramps and slopes, and it really needs to be much better graded than it currently is, and I need to update all of that. Increase programming areas and possibilities for Ruth, if you can imagine doing even more with these cool spaces. I guarantee you she's going to. The activities committee is going to fill these spaces just like you're filling the pottery studio that nobody wanted. I remember larger library with IT help desk. I think that library is going to be very neat. If you go to other senior living communities, they may have a little shelf section that they call their library. It's never being used. It's not real. It's just junk. And our library is active, and y'all are enjoying it. I think it's going to be fantastic to increase the size of that. More wellness spaces, the indoor sports simulator for golf and other games, the game room with bowling, arcade, board games, the multi-sport court, and the conservatory. So it'd be nice on days like yesterday when it's 105 degrees outside. Improved connectivity and function of Harrisville Hall, making Harrisville Hall a little larger. This is just a chat. When the Residents Association meets up here, it's standing room only. Addition of club room for social hours and gatherings with a beautiful view of the Austin skyline. Improved multi-purpose spaces. Theater will be much improved with this project, and it'll be a great classroom space. And I think the coffee shop's really going to be nice as well. The Laurel dining room and a cocktail lounge. Regrading of the west and central courtyards. We talked about ADA compliance. And we talked about roof draining. The larger salon's going to be nice. Increase the size of the fitness studio for larger classes. You guys are maxing out the current fitness studio. I've seen that. I thought it was going to be plenty big, but you keep having larger classes, so that's great. Provide for shade above the Harrisville Hall balcony space so it makes it more usable. Improved appearance of the Preston lobby. It's kind of small, it seems dated. This will really kick up the Preston lobby because it's going to open into the cocktail lounge. So when it kind of similar to what you have walking into the Carlisle, because it's a grand entrance. The the Preston building will have a grand entrance. And that's outdoor dining locations for the Laurel Dining Room. All right, and that was really quick. Thank you. We're out of time, but I will answer 5 questions if you want to stay.
Are they on the portal?
Are these on the portal? I believe they are.
Posted.
Yeah, I believe so.
The presentation?
My presentation?
Yeah.
It's been posted.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Ruth? Right here. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the library has more books than they have shelves for now, right? Yeah, I think so, and people are donating books all the time, so I'm sure filling the shelves with books won't be a problem.
When will the Laurel Dining Room be closed, and then how will you make arrangements with the other dining rooms?
When will the Laurel Dining Room be closed? So it'll be closed at the beginning of the project, so probably April of 2025. And what we will be doing is we will be opening the Rowan Dining Room for lunch and dinner, and we will marry the 2 menus together. And then we'll provide shuttle service to the Carlisle building so you can enjoy the Rowan. We're also going to continue to maintain takeout, carry-out service in the Preston building. We'll stage it on the 2nd floor so that you can still have delivery to your apartments and you can still pick up on the 2nd floor of the Preston.
What is the projected completion date for phase 4?
It's going to take 16 months, we think, from the start. So about the middle of, about July of 26. And let me add one more thing about the Laurel Dining Room. So we've asked for the Laurel Dining Room to be finished first in the project so that we get it soonest. And so we're hoping to get it completed in 7 to 8 months and be able to start using it actively again. We know that that's the most inconvenient piece of this whole project. Yes, ma'am.
What are the plans for increasing the size of the kitchen in the Laurel?
There are no plans to increase the size of the kitchen in Laurel. The kitchen is very efficient. It needs some additional equipment and some changes to the cook's line to make it more efficient, but it's a good size. One more question.
I'm concerned about the visitor parking currently and in the future. I have book clubs that come from the outside, and last week they could not find a spot.
I understand. And we're working on that. That's one of the reasons we're changing the policies and asking folks, and we're incentivizing folks to carpool, associates, and we're looking for more visitor parking spaces. I mentioned turning the south side carports into visitor parking, and we're going to do that over the next few months. We're also looking for ways to incentivize folks to get rid of their second cars. And those that are, we also have a problem with people not actively driving that are just storing their cars here, and it's using up parking spots. So we're addressing those as well. And so we're going to continue to work on parking, visitor parking. All right, thank you all, appreciate it.